Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Monday. I'm here. It's not 10 o'clock in the morning for me. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but I just figured I'd get on in the afternoon today, try something a little bit different, just because, I had a bunch of stuff to do this morning. Haven't been to the Workbench in a long time. This is the first time I've been back to the Workbench for quite a while. But I figured let's get some work done since I cleaned off the Workbench. Paint booth, I was going to clean it. I'm going to clean it tonight when I get back from my fire department meeting. And then going to try to get some painting done this week, which will be very, very exciting for me, just because I haven't had a chance to get literally any painting done in months. So I've got quite a few different things to paint, but today what I'm going to work on right now for the next hour maybe, and see who joins in, if anybody, but I'm going to work on this, which is my Halloween group build for HobbyLink International. And this little guy, I can't remember his name, he's from SprayGunner.com, and I've got some putty on him. I cleaned up a little bit, cleaned up his teeth, got all the little bits of resin out of his teeth, sanded him a little bit. Still have a ton of sanding to do, and there's some fine tuning to do on him. But I also, you'll see this in a minute, but I created some horns for him. And then I did do a little stem, like how pumpkins have that little stem. So when you're not putting the airbrush in there, you can just plug that hole in the top. But I don't like how it turned out, so I'm going to make another one of these tonight. So we'll be doing that, and then that'll pretty much be it, because at 6:30 I have to go to the fire department for our monthly meeting. So that will pretty much be it for this live stream. Don't know when I'll be on again, but hey, you've got me right now, and that's all that matters. So let's see if... because our StreamYard is back, just temporarily back to the standard StreamYard. I don't have a whole bunch of different things like I usually have on it, so it's going to be a little weird. But anyways, I'm going to get to work here, see who pops in. Looks like Skill Model Ninja showed up. Hey, good morning. Good morning to you. It's kind of late afternoon for me here in California. And so I know it's pretty early for you. So I hope all is well, and thanks for joining in. I'm going to try to keep an eye on chat as best I can, but forgive me if I don't. Just still trying to figure out exactly what options I have here on our little StreamYard account. So hopefully next week our StreamYard will be back to normal. So anyways, there we go. So I'm going to switch over to the Workbench. We'll get a little bit of work done, and I'll try to pay attention to chat. And right now it looks like we just have one person watching. So we will... It's been ages since I've been on, so I apologize, guys. Still recovering from back surgery. So I think that is the paint booth. That's that one. There we go. There is the good old Workbench, and it is cleaned up. So probably get a little bit louder because I'm going to be closer to the microphone. Trying to debate on what's going to be the best for viewing for you guys here. And I could bring my camera in closer. That is always an option. So here's the little horns that I made. I'm going to adjust this camera for you guys. See how close we can get it. There we go. This might actually work better. I don't know. The quality is terrible, so it is what it is. Maybe I'll go up a little bit. There we go. Oh, that's a little better. And I think if I get this white background out of there, it might be a little better for you guys. I'm going to move my microphone so I'm not up on it. So here are the horns that I made. And I just made them out of milliput or milliput, whatever you call it. So I have a couple of different kinds. I have the standard, and then I also have this super fine white. And this is the other horn, and then this stem we're going to redo. Because the stem it doesn't look like a stem, it's too round. And what I should have done with it is actually carved it while it was still not hard and put those ridges in it and kind of made it more, shaped it a little better, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So we're going to try to do a little bit of that. And then also shape these horns and sand these down a little bit. And I've got all my sanding stuff right here. I was working in the living room for a while, and then I don't know why, but that just kind of got old, and I wasn't enjoying it as much. This is also the first time I've worked with resin, so it'll be interesting to see how it sands and all that. I should be wearing a mask. And that's the other thing, is I don't think you're really going to notice a lot of imperfections and stuff until you start putting on the primer, which we're going to try to do sometime this week. Because the rate that I build this, this won't be finished until October 30th. So you never know. Never know what's going to happen. I'm going to try to get it to a point to where I can maybe, take it out and paint it in the living room. I'm going to do quite a bit of hand painting on this. There's also kind of a weird seam that shows up right here and in the mouth, and I don't know how I'm going to be able to file that down inside the mouth, but maybe somebody will have a suggestion for me later down the road. Also kind of curious how well milliput sands. I did a little bit of the milliput. Kind of my first time using it was on the Mr. Spock base, and I didn't have to do a whole lot of sanding because really, when I did all the work on that, a lot of it was just forming the milliput into what I wanted it to look like, and then I just kind of roughly sanded over it, and it turned out really nice. I liked how it looked. I have a feeling that I'm going to have to break out the files for some of this. I almost wish it wasn't attached to the base. But there's nothing I can do about that. So I probably just shouldn't have added as much filler as I did. So Ross, what are you working on? Kind of the main reason I had to add some filler down here was because there was a lot of different like holes in it. I'm assuming from where the supports were. So just kind of clean it up. It doesn't have to be perfect, I guess. So also I'm curious how it's going to look once I get the primer on. And the primer, I'm actually going to be using the Tamiya spray can just to get it done. And hopefully that doesn't fill in too much detail. Ooh, Ross is working on the 148 Tamiya Tilly truck in RAF color scheme. Nice. Yeah, I've been out of the loop so much just because of my back surgery and just recovering and all that. I haven't had time to catch up on anybody's videos or builds and see what people are working on. So hopefully soon I'll be able to start kind of catching up on things. That's going to be really cool, though. Look forward to seeing that. I'll have to check that out later tonight, maybe. I always like to turn on people's videos when I'm painting or something, or when I'm just working and sanding, just because it gives me something to listen to and watch. So, but this is the first time I've been back to the workbench in several months, probably 3 months. I think the last thing that I worked on was doing the Batman video, and that after that really haven't spent much time in here or anything. The workbench was an atrocious mess. These horns. Not sure the best approach to tackling these. I don't want to mess up the base because the base is really nice. It might behoove me just to glue them back on, or to glue them on. I just have to figure out where I had them. Well, hello, Kenny. How's it going? Yeah, it's kind of a surprise for me too. I didn't think I'd get on, and then I thought, well, you know, got a little bit of time before I've got to go to the fire hall, so might as well do something. Only thing I think is when I put these horns on, they're a little off. I might have to remake the horns too. The horns look cool though. They kind of add to it because he's got gnarly teeth and all that. And I still don't know how. Sorry, the image is so bad. I don't know how I'm gonna get in here in between these teeth and clean those up. I might have to actually get a Dremel tool. There's a few holes where there were little. I don't know if they were supports or what. I need to try to fill those and then sand them down too. And I was going to try to get my file in there, but my files are way too big, and they'll end up damaging the teeth and the detail on the teeth. So I might just have to realize that it's going to be what it is and not worry about that, because that's usually the hard thing for me, is just letting little things like that go. And I probably should just let it go. That way I at least have something done for the Halloween build. But these horns are going to add so much more to it, and I like the look of them. So what I might do is make up some more milliput and try to... Well, maybe I don't need to. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I think that's fine, actually. One of them's a lot bigger, but I figured when sanding these down, it would kind of sand it down a little bit. See, Ross was saying, I'm also building a 132nd B24J on his live stream on Saturday nights, and a Warhammer. Okay. The Canis Rex. I'm going to have to Google that one on Tuesday night live stream. Nice. That's cool. Definitely need to catch one of your streams again. It's been so long. It's hard for me to remember when everybody's streams were too. So I'll pop in one of these nights and see you at the workbench, buddy. So at least, so for now, let's just... the other option is I can make it out of clay, a little stem, but I think what I'm going to do, I will use the milliput and I'll just kind of reform that stem and just make it look more like an actual stem. Took it a few days to dry, but that's one of those things that I can always put in later and paint on its own. It doesn't have to be painted because it's going to be able to be removed from the actual pumpkin, because normally what goes in there is your the airbrush. Let's move this to where you guys can see what I'm doing. Hopefully that's equal parts. Yeah, I bought a little tub of clay, but I haven't. I was going to use that for more for dioramas, so I haven't tried using it yet. So much to do and so little time. I think what I'll do, I'm going to mix this up first, but this time I'm going to actually shape it so it, because the one I made before just does not look like a stem, and I figured it's going to be a lot easier just to shape it while it's in kind of clay form or when it's soft than it will be to try to form it when it's hard. Because I've never actually tried sanding milliput down or shaping it after it's dry, so we're just going to go this route. See what happens. It does harden really nice though, and it bonds to the plastic really well. I had to really work hard to get those horns off of that resin. It stuck to it really good. I could have probably just left them on, but I don't know. I decided to pop them off for the horns. Figured I could glue them on later. Okay. So the trick is to need to get a thin bit for going inside. It's got to be pretty thin. But I also need to be able to pull it out without it breaking. Okay. And I definitely have way more material than I need. Could just give him a stupid little hat. So I'm going to cut some of this material off because I definitely don't need this much. I might trim it down some more. Be nice to actually have some kind of a stamp to do this, but I think I can get the general idea or shape down, and then we can kind of carve it into what we want. I want it to be a little bit thinner though. Okay, I can work with this. Get that in there. Kind of put it off to the side a little bit. And then we'll just start shaping it. I want it to look like it was cut off of the vine. And it's kind of got that little twist to it, which looks good. And then it's got to have some. I almost wonder here if I use this end. See how this end's kind of. So it's so delicate because of that base. And I know as soon as I touch it, it's gonna change the shape of it. Because I want it, you know how the stems look on pumpkins. I mean, they're not perfect by any means, and all right, take care, Kenny. Thanks for stopping by. Break that. I just know it. Oh, see, and I just lost my definition in this one because I touched it. And this stem just looks way too big. I don't know if I don't really know if we're getting the right design here. Hey Josh, how's it going? I am currently making for the HobbyLink International Halloween group build. Making This is a resin printed pumpkin airbrush holder, and I'm kind of making some mods to it. I have horns that I added or made for it, but then I made a stem and I didn't like how the stem looked, so we're kind of recreating a stem. So when the airbrush isn't in it, you can put the little stem in there and it'll just kind of add to the character of it, I think, anyway. So that's the goal. I'm just trying to do it without making it look too awful, if you know what I mean. That's the other thing, is the stems are kind of spiny too, but I don't need this to be spiny. I'm just basically just trying to add texture to it so it looks a little bit more realistic. I think we're getting that general effect. Sorry, the camera is not, this isn't my HD camera. That is at the paint booth. So um, it's I have the HD one set up at the paint booth just because it looks a lot cleaner when I'm trying to paint. Okay, so I think essentially created what we were going for there. It looks a little better than the last one. This was the last one I did and it just looked terrible. So this one has some actual texture to it. I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's better than what there was. Now, if I can just figure out how to clean up this line, it almost looks like there's something like a rope in his mouth and it's not supposed to be there. I think once I put the um, primer on, you'll really notice it. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to be able to get in there and clean that up because my files are way too big to go in there. So I have some extra milliput now. I don't really think I'm going to use it, so I'm just going to leave it here to dry. Let's see what I can pull off with these. These are the horns I made. I'm curious how easy they are going to be to sand and shape. I don't know. I've never had to sand milliput before, so let's see if I have some grittier paper. Oh, the sanding stick seems to work. So yeah, this is going to be quite the long process of trying to form these, but I can do that in my off time, and we'll see what happens and see how they turn out. Hopefully the next time you guys see this, it'll be all paint or primed at least, and then I'm going to start on painting it. I've got a few ideas for paint. I haven't really come to any major decisions on how I am going to do the whole thing. But overall, I think it'll look really cool when it's done. If you want a good example of how it looks when it's painted up, SprayGunner.com has a couple of them painted up on their website. One of them looks really super cool with, blood and all that in its teeth, and kind of a unique display of it, which is cool. So you can check that out. I'm going to hand paint most of it, I think, tomorrow if I have time, or at some point this week. I will get the primer put on it. I also have to get the Enterprise, the TOS Enterprise, primed and get that started, get paint on that. And then I'm also going to be working on the GTO. I really want to finish up the GTO. So I think the GTO is going to be the main focus on the channel, at least, to get a video up next for that. I'm not going to worry about posting a whole lot of videos on some of the other builds that have been behind the scenes. The main thing I wanted is for those that have seen me start the GTO. I have 2 videos of the GTO up already, so I'd like to get the last couple of videos done for that, and get them on YouTube. And then I've got some projects I have to start for the fire department. So those are going to take priority just because there's a ton of them. So it would be nice to get them done. But that's kind of the game plan for now. It's like I hardly did anything to that. I'm trying to sharpen it and bring it to a point, but this is going to take a lot of filing and sanding. So I think with that, I will call it a live stream, and I will go get ready for our meeting tonight. Just a regular business meeting at the fire hall, and then next week there's training. I'm still on light duty, and Chief doesn't. I had a meeting with him today, and until the doctor says I'm 100%, he's kind of worried about risking it, which is, I understand. Also, with my regular work, it's just it's not possible for me to go back to my regular job at the moment. So until the doctor says I can. There's not a whole lot of choice I have other than to do physical therapy. So just going to carry on strong with physical therapy, keep doing that, and get stronger. And, you know, I'll be trying to get to the workbench a little bit more, doing some more work on models. I haven't done anything in months on models. So it's just, it's been the last thing on my mind. And now I've got a bunch of commission work I have to do. So I better get on it, at least try to get some of them taken care of. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. And evening. Hey, Steve, it's good to see you, buddy. Yeah, not fully back in action, Steve, but just trying to get a few things done. And this is my Halloween build. And just making a few modifications to it. And that way I can say I actually built some parts of it, because it was a 3D print that was sent to me by SprayGunner. So that way I could say I actually built something. I built the horns and then the stem for it. So it's good to see you, Steve, Ross, and Josh. And thank you, Kenny, for stopping by as well. I hope you guys all have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I will try to stop in on your channels and see what you guys have been up to. I do miss each and every one of you. It's definitely it's been a roller coaster. Physical therapy has been kicking my butt, but it's definitely worth it in the end, to get healthy and to get back to work and all that. So take care, everybody, and I will see you guys next time.